Hello, Gun Nation. We'll go ahead and kick this thing off. Let's see here if it's going to start. We'll give it a few minutes. Come on. How's everyone doing this evening? Let's give it just a second. Let this thing kick over. I don't know why it's taking so dang long, but I know if I don't, there we go. Okay, I think it did. So let me know if y'all can hear me. All right, C. Kim says he sees me. That's good. All right, so everybody is here in session, so we will get rolling on this. I wanted to go ahead and kick it off early because we've been getting a ton of questions, and I already had a bunch of questions that other people have been asking me on Instagram and YouTube, so I wanted to get it rolling. Okay, here's the deal. I'm solo this evening because 1776, it is his birthday today. So he is out with his family. So everybody needs to go wish him a happy birthday. So go on Instagram, go on YouTube, whatever. Even after the chat's over, go on and wish him a happy birthday. So I definitely wanted him to spend time with his family because you only get a birthday once a year. But, you know, and once you get my age, it's just another day. So, hey, we appreciate it, Ronald. Thank you very much. But definitely go over and tell him happy birthday. I know he would appreciate it. So, and I won't say his age. I think he's over 21. So we'll just leave it at that. All right. Yeah, it's the Big Johnson chat tonight. However, you know, two guys, we're definitely in the mix. But what we're going to do is go ahead and get down and dirty. We'll wait for some more people to jump on. But a couple of guns were released. I don't know if anyone saw the Shield 9mm EZ, but if you remember the Shield EZ 380, now they released it in 9mm, so it released today. Yeah, definitely give thumbs up. We appreciate that. So what are y'all's thoughts on the EZ 9mm from Smith & Wesson? See a need for it? You know, I've already watched some reviews on it, and I definitely feel that the 380 EZ has a place, you know, for people with arthritis, younger shooters, things like that, recoil sensitive. It's a little bit larger. So 380 EZ is definitely a great option. So the 9mm might be a really good option too for people. Hello, Paris. But, you know, so that's out there. And then, of course, the big elephant in the room is the Glock 44. You know, a lot of people said, you know, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? You know, and I didn't think it was going to be a 22. I had a little insight from some people. Matter of fact, a couple of people that watched the chat, they knew what it was going to be, and so they kind of released it out of the bag. But what are y'all's opinions on the Glock 44? Were you let down? Do you think there's no reason to have a 22? What's your opinions? I'd love to hear them, so y'all can start throwing them out there. No grip safety. Grip safeties, you know, and if you really think about it, grip safeties have been on 1911s forever, but that's a reversed grip safety. So it's a little weird, but, you know, if you get, if you're able to shoot it and it works for you, you know, heck, by all means, use it. And it's a reputable company. It's got a lifetime warranty on it. So if anything happens, then, you know, it is covered. That's always a good thing. Nicholas, on, you know, my opinion on the Shield EZ. The Shield, and I can shoot the Shield fine. I've got the regular Shield 9mm. It's kind of smaller, so it has a little more snappiness than the EZ, I'm assuming. So for a little bit larger gun with less recoil, that's definitely going to help for some newer shooters and maybe some older shooters that are, you know, going to be recoil sensitive or that don't have the hand strength to move them back and forth very well. So I think there's definitely, you know, a reason to have it. Is it for everybody? No, but you know, I think it's a good option that Shield or that Smith & Wesson came out with that. All right, Ranger is saying yes, it's a letdown because there's no need for a 22 pistol. But if you look at it this way, okay, it's a Glock 19 size and the same frame as the Glock 19. So the way I'm looking at it is for training on the low, you know, with ammo, be a great training pistol because it's a size that a lot of people are familiar with. You can put it in the same exact holster. So if you're carrying an appendix, you can drop that little 22, the Glock 44 in there and train with it. And hell, you can get a whole box of 500 rounds of 22 LR as long as it's reliable. If it runs reliably, great option. However, with some 22 ammo, you will have some bad primers and things like that. We've all seen that with 22 if you've shot it. But I think there is a reason to have it because think about it this way. Dad shoots a Glock 19 or a 19X. Junior wants to learn how to shoot a Glock 19 because his dad does. You could train him on the Glock 44, and then as he gets really, really good with that, then introduce him into the Glock 19. And there you go. So I think it is good to have it as a training option. Is it revolutionary? No, but this is their first 22. So as long as it runs reliably, I don't think it's a bad choice. I know that's not what everybody was expecting. It wasn't even what I was expecting. I think a carbine would have been cool, some other stuff that we've talked about, but I think it's a good option. Now I wish they would have released this and something else, and maybe they will at SHOT Show, but I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, hoping for a 9mm PCC. Yeah, I think that would have been cool. But, if you really think about it, there's a lot of PCCs out there that take Glock mags, tons of them. So, and you can buy, you can put your Glock 19 in like those little CAA, those little carbine things that you put them inside of it and shoot them. So, I mean, there's those options also. And of course, that's in the aftermarket, but it's up to if people are going to buy it. Are people going to buy the Glock 44? Yes, it's going to sell. It'll probably sell like hotcakes. Also, for an elderly person, the slide's going to be easy to rack. The thing has no recoil. If you've shot 22 pistols, you can you could unload 10 rounds, and supposedly they're going to make a 15-round mag for it. So you can unload 10 rounds in somebody's eyeball. I mean, that's how easy they are to shoot. And 22s have killed a lot of people, so, but to each their own. So whatever someone wants to buy, by all means, buy it. It's completely up to them. So let's see here. Get down to some more questions because they are flying by. All right. When Trump is impeached and Bernie gets in, you will have your guns taken back. Nah, like we've talked about before, Candy Fuller, they're not taking my guns. Okay, I'll give you a little heads up here. Let's see, where did it go? Have you asked SIG if they will sell us the newer 1911 guide rods and the spring you talked about? I'm sure you can buy it. They will not replace mine. So whatever, but I'm going to go a different route on that. So I'm not even going to get a SIG version. I'm going to get a different version and it'll fix it. So, all right. Constitutional right. Yeah. Hello, Fina. How are you? See Kim. Got a bunch of great people on here. Reported for violence. We obviously have, okay. So I guess I was just reported for violence from that Candy Fuller, so I blocked that waste. Let's see. Best 22 for the money was the striker fired Taurus that released. I spent a weekend at the range with it. Flawlessly and super ergonomic. Yeah, and it does hold 16 rounds. So that looks like a pretty cool option, and you can put the threaded barrel on it. So there's nothing wrong with that one at all. I haven't personally shot it. I have played around with it at the gun store. Seems pretty ergonomic and doesn't seem like anything's wrong with it. And I've seen a bunch of good reports from it. So, if it works, the only thing is, kind of where I was going with that, the Taurus versus the Glock 44, the Glock 44 has a standard footprint of the Glock 19. So people who are used to the Glock 19 will automatically be used to the the Glock 44 for training purposes. So, that's the only reason I could see that somebody would really, really want it. Because like I said, you can shoot that thing on the low. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, M&P easy 9mm option. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, Armsman. I think it's going to be a really good option for the person that's looking for that particular pistol with recoil and racking the slide back easily. They also did put two little dog ears at the end, kind of similar to the VP9, but these are molded in. So if you can't grab the slide well, if you can grab those little dog ears, you can pull them right back. So I think it's a good option. Yeah, and you know, I've ran and I have them. I've got conversion slides for like my P09. I've got a conversion for my Tanfo and stuff like that, and they run well. Never really had a problem with them, other than, you know, like it not striking the primer or having bad primers on 22 rounds. So my conversion kits work well, but I've heard that some of the conversion kits for Glock don't work very well. So, you know, but if someone has one, they would be able to say that better. Let's see here. Okay, Voltaire E30 saying, sounds good. I get stovepipes with my CZ and I don't know why. I want to see if the spring is the reason. Yes, if you have a CZ SP01, and I've talked about it before, on the bottom of the mag, if it has the hollow, it's a little hollowed out. I think they're 18 round mags. That is your problem. That will cause the stovepipes. The mag spring is not strong enough, so it actually causes rounds to jam up in the gun. So if you'll use a regular mag, not the one with the hole in the base plate, or if you will upgrade to the Wolf springs for that mag, that will fix your problem, Voltaire. So if you're using the mag that has the hole in the bottom of the base plate, you can stick your finger inside of it. That's your problem. They're known for that. I've even told CZ they need to change that and not even put those damn mags. Matter of fact, I've got those mags and I don't ever use them. Yeah, I'm sure there are going to be issues with people, you know, racking the slide on a shield slide. So, you know, that's why I think the EZ is a better option, but I'm sure there's people that have issues even racking that one. So, but it's just an option. Yeah, Cadet for the Shadow 2 works well. Yeah, I just think, whoops, uh-oh, what happened here? Okay, can you see me? Something just happened. Oh boy. Can y'all still see me? I don't know what's going on here. Can y'all see me, or am I back now? Let me know. Something just went weird here with StreamYard. So let me know if you can see me. Hello, hello. Okay, some people are saying I'm back, some people aren't. So hopefully this thing is working. Okay, all right. So, okay. This was something that's happening to StreamYard. So hopefully I am back. So I don't even know. Okay, so it says, okay, I guess y'all are, okay. Cajun Halo, thank you. Yeah, that was weird. Never had that happen before. But it was on StreamYard's end because it was saying something with their system. So, but all right. So enough on the Glock 44. Yeah, maybe Bloomberg. I pissed him off. If y'all don't follow me on Instagram, I actually lit into him and Joe Biden about the police officers that were being shot at in New Jersey. You know how the group, and that was a terrorist group. It's terrorist. Period. I said, you know, you're disarming civilians. You're putting, you know, just letting them just be targets. But yet, while Joe Biden and Bloomberg has their armed security guards, you know, but yet want to strip everyone else's licenses away. So I put, you know, 2A, we must protect. I mean, I put all kinds of hashtags. Also tagged Michael Bloomberg and Joe Biden on it, and Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr., and said, y'all must protect our Second Amendment against people and politicians like these. And I went off on it. And I posted on my story on Instagram if y'all follow it, and I've had a bunch of replies from it, but not from Joe Biden or Michael Bloomberg. So, but yeah, that's a bunch of crap. So, you know, they want to protect everyone else, or they want to protect themselves, but not worry about everyone else. So screw that. Oh, thank you, MD Polo. Yeah, I definitely really like the 19X. The way I've done it now, I've done some things that make it even better for me. So I'm yeah. We don't need a dictatorship. We can take care of ourselves. Matter of fact, and I've said this before, you know, sometimes I wish Texas was secede from all this crap. So, because we don't need the government needs us. We can handle ourselves, and we've got oil, we've got money, we've got everything we need in Texas, and we don't need them. So, and you know, other good law-abiding people could move here, but unfortunately, we have a lot of the anti-gunners moving here and trying to change and give their point of views and the way they want it done. And that's not, you know, they're guests in our states. So let's see here. Rodama, Texas has our own electrical grid. Yeah, we're good to go. So good to see you, Rodama. Let's see here. All right, some other items that I wanted to talk about. Oh, if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, got this little bad boy right here, and there's a meaning behind this. Having something done with them. So y'all will need to definitely stay tuned. So I'm really excited about this. And this is Vulcan Machine Works. They are out of Texas, and this is something pretty special. So probably won't ever see, I don't think anybody's ever done one of these. So I'm really excited about it. Yeah, they definitely want to be gods or royalty to us peasants. So yeah, we are turning purple. Matter of fact, last year it was definitely getting purple. So Texas has gold too. We got it. So all right. You know, we've kind of talked about this before, but how do you feel about, and this is kind of my opinion, and I've mentioned it before, I feel that every gun company, you know, from now going forward, should go ahead and just mill their guns for optics. Just mill them, and then just put an inexpensive polymer plate. Doesn't have to be metal, doesn't have to be aluminum. It could just be a polymer plate, and put it on there. And the customer who chooses that gun, you know, they don't have to have a non-optic version and then an optic version of the exact same gun, because that's two part numbers. So why sell either or? You could sell the optic version and really save money. If you're looking at making two different guns, you could save money by making one option, making them all optic ready. And then if that person who purchases it chooses to put an optic on it, they can. If they don't have to. But I think that's the way gun manufacturers should really start looking going forward, because it can make people that are dot curious throw a dot on it, try it. If they don't like it, they can take it off. But I think that's a really good option that really gun manufacturers should think about. And hopefully going forward, all of them will. So that's my opinion. You know, what do y'all think about that? I really think they should. I'm getting a lot of yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. Yeah, like the Masada did. Exactly. I mean, it costs them, when you've got that slide, when they've got it there before they coat it, it would take another 10 minutes to mill that, you know, and if you're doing them all in a row, it's really going to cut down your cost from having two part numbers. You're going to sell more guns. I mean, you're really going to make more money, more gross profit. And that's really what it's all about, because you're giving that customer options. And then you could kind of make it to where, hey, all of our guns are optic ready. If you want us to put a dot on it and buy it with our dot, you can. So it's going to bring more dots into the marketplace, and it's really going to make the dots probably even more affordable. All right. Yep, here we go. Initially not a fan of the Hollow Sun Optic. 507 has changed his mind. So yeah, Rodama, I'm a big 507 fan. Got this one right here all ready. Matter of fact, I posted, if y'all follow me on YouTube, I even posted on YouTube in my story. What's the name of that company real quick? I think it's 3C Tactical. I posted it up so y'all can go and check it out. But 3C Tactical actually had a sale on them. Let me look here and I can make sure before I tell y'all something incorrect. It is 3CR, yeah, 3CR Tactical. They actually had a sale on them, and I think it's still going on, but they're actually ran out because I posted it and everybody was saying they bought it. You can get them for $229 with free shipping and no tax. So that's actually really, really a smoking deal. Thank you, Dave Gass. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I was kind of talking about that. The Glock 44, it's a 5-piece polymer steel slide, and I really don't think it can handle an optic as light as that slide is. They'll probably make an optic version, but I don't know if it could take that optic on it because of that polymer on the top. Because if you look at it, it's polymer, but then on the side it has the steel rails, and if you add any weight to it, it might make it not cycle. So I don't really know. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, and good thought. But what about the iron sights? Even on the guns like that, you're going to make optic ready. You could put the regular sights on the gun, and then you could just put an extra set of sights in there for the suppressor sights, and the people could choose to change them on or off or whatever. But having an extra set of sights in there, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. And it's still going to save money from having two opposing guns, one optic ready and one not. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty, everyone's pretty much agreeing with having dot, or at least having the option to put the dot on there. Yeah, TN Star is saying, no thanks, I like my irons, options is okay. Yeah, and it's up to the person. That's what I'm saying. If it's milled and it has a plate on it and you don't want to run it, don't run it. You don't have to, but at least it has the option to have it. Let's see here. Are my guns hydro dip? No, they're actually Cerakoted. So these are all of mine are Cerakoted. I've seen some hydro dip stuff, and some of it is peeled off. And I've been shooting the heck out of these things and cleaning them and all that stuff, and I haven't had any issues with any of my Cerakote yet. Cerakote's going to wear with holster wear. We know that. I think I've got a little mark or a couple little marks on a couple of them just from drawing them from the holster, but it's nothing bad at all. The Shadow has the most wear, and it still hasn't worn it off enough to not see it, or to have it worn off enough. But and the Cerakote that they're using now is actually really good. It's not like the older Cerakote, because I had some old stuff Cerakoted and it wore kind of quickly. This is actually a great question. What's my top 3 red dots for pistols? My number 1 is the Trijicon SRO. I really like that optic. I like the field of view. My next, and this is going to probably, some people are going to be weird about it, is the Holosun 507C, even over the Trijicon RMR, because, and I'm not pistol waving myself, but this one is rounded and the RMR is flat. So when you're shooting it, the dot will actually leave the window and come back. On this one, under recoil, it actually, it can still leave the window. It's just not as easy to leave the window because it's a little taller on the top. But I actually like the Holosun 507C over the Trijicon RMR. And then the third would be the Trijicon RMR, definitely over the Delta Point Pro. I like the Delta Point Pro with the size of the window. However, I have a Delta Point Pro now that I'm going to have to send back because the lower quarter of the screen is dead, and it's the brand new one that I just got on the Shadow 2 when I had the gun built. That one, they had built it with a Delta Point Pro, and that's the newest one, and it has the least amount of rounds through it. Now, I still have a Delta Point Pro that's running great, so we'll see. but I have seen in the light, like out in the sun, bright sunshine, when I shoot and the sun is coming at me, the Delta Point Pro dot will actually kind of fade with sunlight, and the SRO is the brightest out of all of them. Let's see here. M1 Grand, yeah, I've shot those. I'm just not a big, personally, I'm not a big M1 Grand fan. There's nothing wrong with them. I just personally not my thing. Yeah, and I have a Romeo 1. It's not the Pro, but I do have the Romeo 1, and it's not a bad optic. I haven't had any issues with it yet, but I really haven't shot it enough either to really. That's why I haven't really done a review on it, because I like to put a lot of time and a lot of rounds through stuff before I'll give a really good opinion on it. But I did order 2 more 507Cs from that sale, so definitely like them. Let's see here. Can you tell if your AccuShadow shoots more accurate than your TSO? The AccuShadow, and mine is a made AccuShadow. It's got the barrel bushing. It's not a Shadow 2 AccuShadow from the factory, but it has everything that a Shadow 2 AccuShadow has. However, it's even a little more tricked out. It is definitely more accurate in my hands than my standard Shadow 2 with tricked out trigger without a bushing. However, you can put a bushing on any Shadow 2. It's not that difficult. But the AccuShadow is more accurate than a standard Shadow 2. I will say that. Yeah, it's accurate, but more accurate than my TSO. I honestly would still give it to the TSO, but the reason being, your TSO is a single action only, and it's about a 2-pound trigger. So it's like mine is 1 pound, 9 ounces or something like that. So it has a better trigger, and this reset is much, much shorter. Even though the Shadow 2 has great resets, the TSO trigger is incredible. So if you haven't shot one, I would say the TSO is my most accurate pistol, other than, well, no, it is actually, it's accurate, more accurate than my 1911s. So yeah, but it depends on the shooter. You know, everyone asks me, you know, out of the 2 guns, they'll just name 2 guns, which one's the most accurate? Well, it depends on whose hands they're in. You know, one person might shoot one more accurately, or if you have more time behind it, that gun's probably going to be more accurate for you. Okay, on this one, Romeo 1 Pro or Delta Point Pro, I just picked up a SIG X5 non-Legion. They're 2 direct mounts. Out of those 2, the Delta Point Pro has definitely a taller window, and you can get a bigger screen than the Romeo 1. So out of those, and depending on your Delta Point Pro, might not ever have any problems, and they've got a great warranty on it. They're going to fix mine. But I would probably, out of those 2, I would probably go with the Delta Point Pro, just because you're going to get a larger window. On the Romeo 1, mine is the older X5 that only has the 1 option. So I would have to get it milled to change it to anything else. But that's why I have the Delta Point, or excuse me, the Pro Romeo, or the Romeo 1, not the Pro, but that's the one that I can put on that one. So yeah, Pistol Pete, it's a light trigger, but it's not unmanageable. It doesn't sneak up on me. I'm so used to it. So, and I've shot it a ton. Hello, Knuckles. Not a SIG fan. I would kind of agree with you, Rodima, but all right, Kathleen has a great question. Do people feel like co-witness helps them out when they shoot dots or not? I actually have a video that I did. On my 509, I did change the sights. I went with the blacked out co-witness FN 509 sights. So they're the tall suppressor sights. And I've got them perfectly mechanically centered. So the guy mic'd them on both sides, on the front and the rear, and they are perfectly centered on the gun. However, the dot is a little to the left of the front post. So when I'm shooting it, if I just look at the dot, it's pretty accurate. But what I catch myself sometimes is looking at the post and not the dot. So, and it's just because I need to get used to it. And I've got other guns with the co-witness sights, and I don't see them. But on the 509, I was used to shooting it without true co-witness sights. So now it's just me getting used to them, but they're fine. I mean, either way, it's whatever you choose to use. So, and what you get used to. Do you absolutely have to have co-witness sights? No. Matter of fact, on this gun, and I have a video on it, this gun has no sights on it because it's going to be a front CZ tall sight. And right here, it has to be milled for a Glock sight. So it'll be a Glock rear that's in front of the window. So this has no sights on it. I taped up the dot. I mean, completely. Y'all can see on the video. I taped up the dot. You could not see through it. And I just shot this, which is doing presentations, and point shooted it. I think I was at 7 yards, and I had a group about that big without even being able to see sights or a dot. So I was just point shooting it. And that's what I will work on a lot of times is point shooting, because, you know, you want your presentations to be the same all the time. That way you're not floating the gun and looking for a dot or looking for your irons. I think that's a good thing to practice with. I'm not saying everybody has to, but, you know, it's up to you. But there's a lot of people now, red dots on rifles and stuff like that. They're not using backup sights on rifles. So they're depending a lot on the red dot, and it's, if you feel comfortable with it or not. If it ever did go down, then yeah, you would probably want something to back it up, but it's going to be, you know, to each their own, I guess. What's up, Harry? I saw you jump in. Let's see here. What is your theme build? Well, this, if you're talking about this one, it's not really a theme like I did the Deadpool, but I think you'll like it. And you don't see, you probably won't ever see another one done like this that anybody's done. There are similar ones, but not this exact gun. So I can't wait for it to come back. All right, SIG metal frame guns are great, or great guns. Yeah, they are. You know, that's definitely SIG's premier gun is their metal guns, in my opinion. They make nice 1911s. You know, their Legion series. You know, the 229, 226. Those have been around forever. They're proven, but some of the polymer guns can have their faults, but, you know, it's to each their own. I mean, if you're a big SIG 320 fan, by all means, shoot it. Who am I to tell you what you should like versus how everybody tells me on YouTube, you know, you shouldn't like that gun, you shouldn't like this gun. All right, let's see here. I love the name. The Second Amendment wasn't a suggestion. I love the name. I'm trying to decide between a P10 Optics Ready or Glock 19 MOS opinion. I have the P10 Optic Ready. It's the P10F. It's not the C, and I've had the MOS, the Glock 34 MOS, and between those two platforms, I personally, now on the P10, you have to buy your own optic plate, whatever you choose, but on the Glock, they come with all the plates. So, but if you've decided on your optic, you're not going to need all the other plates that a Glock comes with anyway. But in my opinion, I like the way that on an MOS or an RMR type version, I like the way that CZ does their setup better. That's just my opinion. I think it's a little deeper than the Glock. I know it's a little deeper. And I think it sets a little farther down. That's just my opinion. They do not co-witness with the factory sights either way, but you know, that's just my opinion. So out of those two guns, for me, I would choose the CZ Optic Ready, just because I like the CZs better. But that's strictly my opinion. So if y'all like something different, you know, that's fine too. Yeah, Radama, I was actually really looking forward to the Nemo Arms Monarch, and I haven't seen anything, and I've messaged them about it, and they've sent no reply. So I think the price point was probably scaring some people off, and they were seeing a saturated market for an expensive gun that they probably didn't want to jump into. So unless something comes out at SHOT Show, I think that gun is dead. I think it went bye-bye. Good night, Steve R. Appreciate it. Let's see here. I know I missed a question. Glock 45. Yeah, I mean, Glock 45 is a good pistol. And the MOS, if that's what you want, get it. Yeah, this was pretty funny. I remember Harry sent me, and also T and Steyer did too, sent me pictures of the Nemo arms. And he's like, man, this gun is completely made for you because it's got a monstrous grip or bigger round grip. And I was really excited about it. But like I said, I think that thing's gone bye-bye. Let's see here. Tyler DD. When's the DFW shooting meetup? Well, I go to Texas Gun Experience quite a bit. We don't have anything set up for the DFW meetup, but that can change. So let's see here. Okay. All right. Ranger is reminding me, we were talking about this prior to the chat. All right. The hardest thing that I had when I started shooting dots is I would present the pistol out. I would see the dot. The dot would be right there. Let me turn this dot up because I turned it way down. I would see the dot and I would stare at the dot and shoot. And my eye was constantly looking at the dot. You do not look at the dot. Do not look at the dot. Look at your target, put your pistol over the target and just let the dot just fall into it. And then shoot. You'll kind of see the dot through your peripheral, I guess is the way you could say it. But do not stare at the dot. Look at your target and let the dot go over your target and then press your shot. And that was very, very hard for me to get over, is staring at the damn dot. So if you can teach yourself not to look at the dot, to look at through the glass at your target and let the dot go on that and then break the shot, you're going to shoot it a lot better. And I've even had people shoot some of my pistols and they're like, I'm staring at the dot, I'm staring at the dot, because people look at the dot and if they're shaking or if they're gripping too tight and the gun's wiggling, they're watching the dot bounce and they're not worried about the target. So once you look at your target, even if your dot is bouncing, you're going to be within, that area of it. So, and then once you do repetition and just shoot and shoot and shoot, it kind of just all sinks in. And you'll draw your pistol, go to the target, your dot will be right on the target, and you pull the trigger. So that's helped me a lot. Let's see here. Yes, I agree with Tyler. Once you go dot, it's hard to go back. Yeah, look at your target. It's kind of like a red dot on a rifle. Just think of it that way. You're looking through the glass, you're looking way out there, and then the dot is getting in the way, basically. That's the way you want to kind of do it. Took me forever to squeeze the trigger and not pull the trigger back. Yeah. And even with the dot, and in my last video, the one I just released, I think yesterday or day before, and I admit it, I had trigger freeze and I was shooting the P10F and I was just bang, 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 bang. And all of a sudden I froze. And what I did is I was looking while I was shooting all those shots, I was looking at the target and then my eyes came back to the dot. And when I did that, I froze the trigger. Like I didn't pull the trigger because I was staring at the dot. And then I went back out to the target and then I released it. And I think I fired that last shot. But, it's, yeah. And Harry is pretty much saying this. Once you get used to a dot, shooting iron feels like you're shooting gun with no sights mounted. It's weird. I know people will say if you shoot a dot gun and you shoot a dot gun, you can go back to an iron gun, and it's a little different. I mean, you could do it, but it's a little different because you're constantly, rather than when you're shooting irons, you're looking at the front sight, but when you're shooting dot, you're looking at your target. So it takes discipline. It does, but this is actually good. If you do go for your first red dot, don't try it a few mags and give up. Stick with it for 500 to 1,000 rounds and you'll fall in love. And that's kind of what I did when I went with the Glock. I tried the Glock 34 MOS and I was shooting the dot. But what kind of did it, or what kind of irritated me with that was the Glock itself, the Glock 34. I'm not a huge fan of the 34. So if I would have started on the P10F originally, I probably would have fell in love a lot sooner. I can't go red dot. I have too many classics that I love shooting. Yeah, and I mean, I've got some old ones that I would never dot. It's just, you don't have to dot everything. I've put dots on quite a few now, because that's just what I've chosen to do. But I have classics too that I won't dot, so I won't change that. Dots on the 1911. I guess he's talking to Knuckles, but yeah, I mean, you can do dots on 1911s too. Some of the 1911s, the higher end ones, are actually even, you can get them with the dot options. So I mean, that's always a cool thing. It just depends on what you personally want and what you like. If you want to, dot a gun, shoot, have at it. Big J, have you ever shot, or have you ever shit your P10F in competition? Yes, I actually have shot it in competition before. I shot it in two USPSA matches. The first one was the very first time with the dot on that gun. Took me a little bit to get used to, but yes, I have, and it does well. There wasn't any issues with the gun. It ran flawlessly, and that was just on your standard factory ammo. So, I mean, that's a good option. For me to tell you got to buy a P10F or whatever, that's not fair, because you might not like that particular gun. And the P10F is a big gun. It's not that big for me, but I've had average size hand people shoot it, and they're like, man, that's a big gun. So it's just to each their own. But I think it's a fantastic gun. I really like it. And it holds a lot of ammo. Matter of fact, my competition mags, they will hold 24 plus one in the pipe, and they do meet the 140 millimeter limit. So, that's a lot of ammo. It's for carry optics, but yeah, it's a good gun. Cool. Yeah, Kyle is saying 686 had a dot on that for pin gun. I think that's a bowling pin probably. Everything else was open sights. Yeah, and it's, because I'm newer to dots than a lot of people are, but I'm really, really liking them. And I mean, I see no reason to go back to iron sights for me personally. Let's see here. Had an FN Tactical 45, but that gun was huge, just too big, and I got a good offer for it, so it's gone. Yeah, Rodham, I had the FNX 45 Tactical also. That was way before dots. That was right when that gun first came out. I didn't really shoot suppressed, and I really didn't shoot dots. So I was like, I had a guy make me a really good offer for it, so I sold it. Matter of fact, on the FNX Tactical and on my FNX now, I use the large back strap. And if you know how big that gun is huge. It's like a 2x4. But I like the large back strap because it fits my hand even better. So, I think it's a really good pistol, and I love my FNX 45, but I don't have it dotted yet. So, because it holds 16 rounds at 230 grains of hate. So it is the highest capacity 45 out there. So it's definitely a great option for a 45. Let's see here. Oh man. Harry, you already know the answer to this question. If you had to get into revolvers, what would you get into and why? What revolver would you carry? Harry already knows the answer to this. I actually do have 3 revolver. No, I might have 4. I actually do have revolvers. They're classics. I've got 238s. They're old classic special editions, almost like new. I've got a 357 6-inch Magnum. I forget the number on it. And I've got another one. I just never shoot them because they're not, they're just revolvers to me. And I shot them way back in the day before, I've shot them a bunch back then, but they're still perfect condition, like new. I really take care of my guns. But the gun that I would have, as far as a revolver, I would want a Korth. Harry knows this. They're not cheap. They're super, super expensive, but they are awesome. And I would carry that gun. They are monsters. I think they're about 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds on some of them. But they look like a zombie gun, and it's a Korth revolver. They are imported by Nighthawk Customs from Germany. I believe Korth is in Germany. But they are beautiful guns. But the one that I want starts out at like $7,500, and the triggers are awesome. I mean, they are high end revolvers. But that's just me. Would I get one? I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, Nicholas says Korth. Yeah. There was a question that went flying by here. Okay, here it is. Big J, any experience with the CZ75 Bull Sport, the Bull Shadow slide on attack sport frame? Looks interesting, but pricey. I have looked at that. I've even played with it and stuff like that. Me personally, I see no reason to have it because I would have to shoot it in limited minor. It'd be a fun target gun, but it's just a beast. So I really see no reason to have it. I like the Bull Shadow 2. I think it's kind of cool. But again, I kind of don't have any reason for it because I have 3 Shadow 2s. 2 are optic ready and 1 is standard. So I just don't see any reason for me to have it. I did take my TSO. If y'all have followed me on Instagram, you've probably seen it. But on my TSO, I do have an Optic mount on it. I had it custom done. I've got the custom gas pedal, a slide racker, and that thing is accurate as crazy. It's got an SRO on it, the 2.5, and I was at 50 yards. I threw up a video on Instagram. I think I put it on YouTube too, but it's only like a minute long, and I'm shooting out to 50 yards, and the thing is super accurate. It's even more accurate than me. And that's a fun target gun. I call it my sniper pistol, just joking around, but that's plenty enough for me. I just don't see any reason to have the other ones. If you're just wanting to get it as a collector, grab it. If that's what floats your boat, grab it. No reason not to have it if you want it. GP100 is a good pistol too. I've shot them. I've never personally owned one, but I have shot them, and they're nice. They're nice revolvers. It's just on a revolver, I would prefer a single action revolver because I would want it tuned and all that other stuff because I would want a really nice trigger on it. So that's just my opinion. Let's see here. Big Johnson, how have you been doing in competition? And I'm assuming that means competition. To be honest with you, I have missed the last one because I had to go out of town. So I had to withdraw from it. I didn't want to, but I had to. And we've got another one coming up on the 23rd. So it is right before Christmas. And I've got family coming in, and I'm going to be doing some traveling too. So and I already signed up for it because I'm trying to make it work. But I might have to withdraw from that one too. Since I travel so much, when I have family time, I definitely want to take advantage of it as much as possible. So but we shall see. Hopefully I'll get to shoot it, but if not, I'm not going to die. There's they're always out there. 6-inch barrel stainless. I shot a video. Harry saw it. If y'all know who Q is, they actually make what's called a side chick. And you can put like a Remington 700 barrel and bolt and everything in it, and you can just mount it as a chassis gun. And so I have it on video asking my wife, telling her I want a side chick for Christmas. And my wife was like, what? And I think because I was videoing it, she knew that something was up, and she said that I could have a side chick if she could have a side guy. And then I explained to her what a side chick was, and she thought it was pretty funny. I've shot a 327 before. It wasn't my gun, but I shot it, and it wasn't a bad round. I just don't know what the ballistics are on it personally or anything. I don't see too many of them, but I like a 38, or a 357. You can shoot 38 in it. That's what I grew up when I was a kid. I shot a 357 Magnum, and my grandfather and dad would put, I think, 5 rounds of 38 in it, but they would put one 357 round in there. And I was young. I can't remember how. I was really young, and I would shoot it, and it 38, 38, 38, 357. So it kind of broke me from depending on just the 350s or the 38s being in that pistol all the time. I just tried one of the Berga Action in 6.5. That's cool. Yeah, at Texas Gun Experience, they actually sell Gun Works. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or seen them, but they're like $12,000 precision rifles, and they actually sell them there. Man, those things are really nice. They're expensive, but they're nice. They come with Keel's scopes or Night Force scopes on them, so they're definitely really nice scopes too. Let's see here. There was another question that I had. Okay. And this, I actually had two people ask me this question. I wrote down a bunch of questions I've been asked. Would you buy a cheap or inexpensive gun? I'm talking like a lesser known brand gun, and depend on it to protect your wife and your kids and things like that. And do you ever worry about gun resale value on those guns? So do you only buy name brand guns, or do you buy like really cheap, inexpensive guns and hope they're going to work? So what's y'all's opinion on that? Just out of curiosity. I love a stainless revolver. They are really, really nice. And stainless, man, it's hard to beat stainless. I mean, it doesn't show scratches as much. And I mean, as long as you take care of it, you won't really have any pitting or anything like that. I've seen some stainless guns that people don't take care of, and they're all chewed up with rust and pitting. Let's see here. 1922 Colt Army Special. That's cool. SP101s are awesome. I love my 9mm version. That's one thing I've never personally shot. I've never shot a 9mm revolver. I think that would be pretty cool. I've never personally shot one. I know KS had one, and he was going to shoot it, and then I think he decided to, or had an offer from someone to buy it. So I think they are mini quality guns, pretty expensive right now, and I agree with that. I'm talking about some brands that are super, super expensive, or super, super inexpensive. Okay. G2, Taurus G2. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of people that have had really good luck with the Taurus G2s. So I'm just saying, whatever you buy, definitely test it. Test the heck out of it. Just make sure it's going to work. But do you worry about resale value? I mean, me, myself, when I buy guns, I don't really buy cheap, inexpensive guns, because I don't consider a gun as like a throwaway gun or something I don't care about. And I don't really buy guns for YouTube. I buy guns for my collection or what I'm going to use them for. But I just definitely want to make sure a gun is reliable. And matter of fact, if you didn't check out the video, You know, you should always test your gun, any accessories that you're going to carry on it, mags, even the stock mags. You need to check stuff and make sure it runs. And that's what I talked about in my last video. And you'll see what I show what happened. Okay, David Ramirez. I have a High Point C9 and it shoots every time. There you go. I mean, as long as you know that it works. I'm just saying, test whatever you get. Not that I would use it in a need to use situation. Got an M&P for that. Okay. So, all right. Kevin Chung's not worried about resale. Yeah. So when you buy guns, you know, buy something that, you know, you're going to be happy with. BJ, what's your gun of choice when it comes to 10 millimeter? Okay. I have shot some 10 millimeter. I've shot the Glock. I can't remember the number. What is it? The Glock 40. I think I've shot it in 10 millimeter. I've shot steel frame 10 millimeter. It was a Tanfo. I shot a 1911 10 millimeter. I want to say that was a SIG. I haven't shot a ton of 10 millimeter, but I've shot them. None of them were mine. And out of all of those, I actually prefer the a steel frame 10 millimeter. It doesn't as flex as much, because I noticed on the Glock when I did rapid shots with a 10 millimeter, I just anchored down on it. I was like, bang, 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 bang. I could feel the flex in it. But I mean, they work. I'm not saying they're bad guns, but I prefer a steel frame 10 millimeter. The 1911s they were all really nice. The Tanfo was nice. The SIG was nice, and they shot very well. Didn't have any malfunctions, but I only shot I think it was like 2 or 3 mags through each one. So let's see here. Let me catch back up. All right. Yeah. All right. If you're buying a $500 for you, but getting your wife a High Point, you would, I don't know what he's saying. Yeah. And I agree. I mean, you know, have something, especially if you're going to put her in it if you travel or something, make sure it's a reliable gun. Canic TP SF Elite for the money, yeah, $400. Matter of fact, I saw the Canic SFX for, can't remember what the price was. I sent it to Harry. I think it was like $399 with 2 20-round mags. I mean, they're giving those things away now. And that brings into question, I'm wondering if Century Arms, you know, because they're the importer for Canic, I'm wondering if something's going on there, because, man, they've been discounting the hell out of those guns. They're basically giving them away. And I'm just wondering if something's going on. What's my favorite 20? I think it was a 20. What is she asking? Oh, what's my favorite 25 ACP? Believe it or not, I actually have, or I had. I think it was. I ended up giving it to her son, back to her son. But it was a Colt. It was my grandmother's Colt 25 ACP with the pearl handles, I think. And after my grandmother's son got his stuff squared away, I gave it back to him. And then he passed, and I think his kids probably sold it or did something stupid to it. Yeah, Glock 40. Glock 40 MOS, loved it, killed deer with it last year. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'll take down some big animals. A lot of people use it for bear country and stuff like that. So it works. 10 millimeter definitely works. Yeah. Hail to the rooster. Yeah. The Canics are cheap right now. So, I mean, if that's something you're in the market for, grab them. Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're trying to dwindle down the inventory. You know, maybe they had a bunch of them shipped in. I don't know. But maybe they're trying to dwindle them down, you know, because it's Christmas time. They're just giving really good deals, or maybe something's going on. I don't know. Yankee Marshall's propaganda. Yeah, you can't take him with a grain of salt. Speaking of discount, why is Beretta discounting the APXs so much? They're super, super inexpensive right now. The only thing I can think about is a lot of people are discounting, like even the Smith & Wessons. If you look, their current inventory right now, on the shields, even the 2.0s, the compact 2.0s, all of that, they're really discounting them down. But I have a feeling Smith & Wesson for SHOT Show probably has Optic ready versions ready to go. So they're discounting those down to try to move that inventory out, because SHOT Show is going to introduce a lot more stuff. So I think that's what's going to be going on with them. So I think at SHOT Show, you're going to see a bunch of newer guns, you know, from current manufacturers like Smith & Wesson. I think they're going to be coming out. Hey, what's up, Channel Cat? Appreciate you coming on. Let's see here. Yeah, coming out with a new striker fired pistol. It's what Rodham was saying. They probably are. I think they're a lot of manufacturers are blowing stuff out. Well, we've only got a few minutes left. Do y'all have any questions or anything y'all can think of? That's, you know, that you want me to answer real quick? Yeah, I need Dan Weston to discount the DWX. That DWX is going to be awesome. I can't wait till it comes out. I really want to put my hands on it, try the trigger and everything. But I think that's going to be a really cool pistol. And yeah, they are going to have it at SHOT Show also. So I want Harry to put his grubby mitts all over it, and let me know what I'm missing, because I will not be going to SHOT Show this year. But you know, yeah, Channel Cat, we talked about the Glock 44. I think it's actually a cool option to train younger shooters on, to have the Glock 19 platform for training, to have the holster compatibility, you know, that kind of stuff. But I think it's going to be awesome. The Tanfo Stock 2 is a great pistol. I really enjoy mine. It shoots well. I do have a video, Shadow 2 versus the Tanfo Stock 2. It's an older one, and I go over the likes and dislikes. The Tanfo has a lot of sharp edges where the CZ Shadow 2 does not. And between the two, I prefer the Shadow 2, but I will never get rid of the Tanfo Stock 2. It is a fantastic pistol. So that's kind of my opinion on it. But, you know, and it's got the Eric Graffel trigger in it, so it's tricked out. But great pistol. You can't go wrong with either one of them. Let's see here. Yeah, everybody asking, KS just taking some time off. So let's see here. Lugo Arms, Alien available in the U.S. I have not seen it in the U.S. I think maybe one person has it, but I've seen pictures of it and stuff, and it's definitely an interesting concept. I've seen it in a video shot. I think it's a cool option, but man, the price is, you know, between $5,000 and $7,000 isn't too cheap. And honestly, I don't really, from looking at the recoil and stuff, I don't think it's earth-shattering between that and a Shadow 2. You know, me personally, but it's up to you. If you want to buy that thing, buy it. If you can get it. I know that they're limited coming in, supposedly. And then the 92X, you know, performance is out. So I actually know a person that has one personally. So, you know, y'all have that to shoot, or, you know, that coming out. That should be kind of exciting if you're into the 92s. Let's see here. Any other questions? Okay, I guess they're going to be introducing them next year. Oh, I will say this. CZ, I talked to CZ, and they are going to be coming out with a Shadow 2 single action only. So if you want a Shadow 2, you can now get it in single action only. The only thing is it's not optic ready. So, and even if it was optic ready, it wouldn't meet our weight. And you can't shoot single action in carry optics, so you can only shoot it in limited minor. But it's going to give you a single action trigger, so it'll be a great trigger, I'm sure. But you know, it's if you want the Shadow 2, it will be coming out in single action. So that's some earth-shattering news that I have that you probably won't hear anywhere else. Big Johnson Guns and Gear, do you think the Hellcat coming out and doing well, Smith & Wessons are going to move to the micro high cap realm? Probably so. If you think about it, the Shield, you know, they kind of had theirs first, the optic ready version, before the Hellcat did. And I actually shot the Hellcat. I shot Humble Marksman's Hellcat. I was 40 yards away with just the stock sights, and I was dinging, you know, pretty decent. I mean, it was, you know, I don't know, like a body size USPSA target, and it was shooting pretty well. It's a little snappy, but I do like the way that the grip felt. It felt thicker and larger than, of course, the 365, wasn't a bad pistol at all as far as shooting it. Trigger wasn't too bad. I personally wouldn't buy it because it's pretty dang small, but you know, there's an option for that if somebody wants one. I still have it. I just don't shoot it a whole lot, but I'm going to do some more stuff with it for the X5, the orange one that I had tricked out, the Tequila Sunrise. I did that for Movember, so then I shaved it off, but I can always grow it back. So depending on if I want to, I might grow one over Christmas. I was thinking about doing it again. Let's see here. CZ Shadow 2 will never come out in a striker version, I don't think. Because, I mean, it does well the way it is. There's a lot of things to a TSO that you have to take into account that the Shadow 2 doesn't provide. It's got the Optic screws, it's got the gas pedal, it's got a lot of other stuff and the trigger on the Shadow 2 single action only, I don't think it's going to be as good as the TSO. It'll be nice, but it won't be as good as the TSO in my opinion. I just don't know how they could get it that good, but who knows? Maybe they will. All right. Marshmallow air gun. There you go. Put an optic on it. Stick a dot on it. Put a dot on anything. All right. Well, we are getting to the end. If y'all didn't see, be looking for this on Instagram and YouTube. I've got something coming. These are the guys doing it, and it's Vulcan Machine Works. They're out of Texas, so I'm really excited about this. Got some stuff getting done on something that probably hasn't been done before, so I think this could be a complete one-off, but I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be, let's just say it's going to be modern and classic. Give you that hint, modern and classic. So that gives you a hint. And if you want to guess after the chat's over, throw some guesses down there. I won't answer either way, but you know, I'd like to hear what your guesses are. Modern and classic. When you fix your X5, please share how you fixed the guide rod issue. Honestly, John, the way to fix it, and I knew what was wrong with it when I posted it. If you look at the new X5 Legion, they actually have the 1911 guide rod with the separate spring. That's how you fix it. I was trying to get SIG to see if they would replace it with the upgraded one, but they wouldn't. But Springer Precision makes a tungsten guide rod version. They even make the steel guide rod version, and you just put the 1911 spring on it. So that's how you fix it. Because if you notice on the X5 Legions, it won't do that. It only does it on the older ones. And SIG knows that. That's why they did the change for the new one. But they're not just going to send out those guide rods to everybody. But I knew what the issue was with it. 75 pre-B with an optic. Wow, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Yeah, I appreciate all of y'all coming on for the chat. Again, tell 1776 happy birthday. It's his birthday. That's why he's off this evening, or he would have been here too. You know, if you have any questions or anything, please leave them after the chat. I will try to answer as many as I can and give you some answers. But I appreciate everyone. There's some great channels on here that have some content. Please subscribe to them. You know, we're all a big family. I'm also getting close to 10,000 subscribers, which is all because of y'all, and I really appreciate that so much. I think I'm 100 and something away. I don't really look at the, you know, the count, but you know, people have been saying, "Oh man, you're getting close to 10," and so I actually looked, and I am. So that really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Please thumbs up the chat. Check us out on Instagram. I put a lot of stuff over there that I never put on YouTube. Sneak peek stuff, gear that I'm testing. So you'll find out on Instagram sometimes months and months before I even do anything on YouTube. I don't just get something and usually say, "Hey, look at this." I test it, you know, let you know what's going on with it. Then I'll throw it up. But anyway, I appreciate y'all so much. Have a great night, everyone. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. If you need a Harry's holster, definitely grab one off the site. You can use my discount code. It's Big Johnson, capital B, capital J, all smashed together. That'll save you 10%. If you need lock grips, that'll save you 10% by using BJGG10. That'll save you 10% on lock grips. So I appreciate y'all so much. Stay safe and carry on.